Now, one of the things I'm always saying to my customers and my fellow accounts and bookkeeping people is when they're doing a backlog of scanning, it's sometimes easier to just scan directly to one big capture folder, which I call inbox. And that folder can sit on your Dropbox, it can sit in Box, it can be in Microsoft OneDrive. To think for a minute there. What else do we have? Google Drive, wherever, where sometimes it's just easier to scan to one place and then go back later and do any of your naming, sending it to the right folders and whatever you need to file it correctly. But people say to me, well, how do I do that? I've got a scanner and I'm not sure what you mean. So for this exercise, I'm going to use my everyday scanner, which is ScanSnap. If you see here, I've got scan button settings. Now, depending on what scanner you have, it will be called a similar name, but this is what it is for the ScanSnap. And what I want to do is create an inbox. Now, I've already got one here, so let me do some profile management. And you can change them to your heart's delight, add more. So I'm going to get rid of that and start again. So what I want to do is create a catch-all. It's a similar thing to what you'd imagine your in tray is on your desk or in your office. So if I come here, you'll see up here, the quick menu is unticked. Then what we need to do is decide what kind of file or where we want the file to go. The default, which comes as one of the presets within the ScanSnap, is scan to folder. And a lot of people go to this one because it just seems the obvious. There's one caveat where I say not to use that one, and that's if you want to rename your file after you've scanned it. For this exercise, it's not necessary, but if you see here, it's grayed out. It doesn't let you do it. So if you want to be able to do that and still choose a folder to scan to, you need to choose None and Scan to File. And then if you see, you go back to the Save button, here, the rename file after scanning is now available to be ticked again. So we've chosen None, Scan to File. We want to pick where we save it to. Now, it's already got where mine's to go to, but all I did was browse, just like you do normally, find the folder, click that, OK it, and there it is. So whatever the path, or you can't type it in here, by the way, which is really kind of annoying because I'm a keyboard person. You have to actually browse to it just in case you're trying to ever do it and you think, why can't I do that? And then as you see, if you want to scan and name each file or each document after you've scanned it, you click here, and what it will do, it will take you to the folder, and then the folder will come up and you'll be able to name it in the same way you name any document that you save to a folder on your disk or on your computer, shall we say. If you untick it, that option won't come up and it will just automatically save to the inbox folder with a naming convention, which is here. So it will save whatever date and time that you actually did the scan, it will save as that, and then you say you go in there and you change it. Next, you want to look at these options, which is when it scans, what does the output scan look like? So I've just left it as normal. These are standard. These are normal auto color detection. So whether it's black or white, whether it's one color, whatever, the scanner will sort out exactly what to do with it. The only one I play with sometimes, and even if I change my scan here, the only thing I would change it for, to be honest with you, that if you are scanning, and as we're mainly talking here about accounts record keeping, if you are scanning paperwork that at some point you may need to use as verification for your accounting or your accounts transactions, you need to scan both sides of any sheet of paper, and that's for legal reasons, and that's what the tax office stipulate. So my one is automatically set to that, but even if it's set to double-sided, as you see here, you can tick blank page removal. So if you're scanning anything and a blank page appears anywhere, it won't scan it anyway. You can also continue scanning after last page, and I'll come back to that as to why that might be important. File option. This one I don't use as a rule simply because it really slows down the scanning process. But what it allows you to do If you want to ever be able to search on any text within a document, so i.e. here, you can mark any text with a highlighter, waterproof highlighter pen, water-based I should say, highlighter pen. And if you ever go back to search for that document, you can search based on that text and it will find it within a document and produce it as one of your search results. It also says confirm the keyword for PDF after scanning, so it actually tells you what to do. The other option as well, if you don't have to do that one, you can also click convert to searchable PDF, which means it uses optical character recognition, or OCR, which allows the computer to search within a particular document for any searchable keywords, or any searchable words I should say. If you want keywords, you would have set those up here when you marked your text. I don't use them if I'm doing bulk scanning for any reason, and I don't use it as a rule simply because it's so slow, and also because the naming conventions that we use are so self-explanatory that you shouldn't really need to search within the PDF unless you really can't remember where you stored something. So that's that one. And here you have the option, you can either save the whole batch of a scan. So if you put through 10 sheets of paper, it will scan as one PDF with those 10 sheets in it. Or if you generate one PDF, it will scan as 10 individual sheets of paper. Now I tend to use this one, but it's a personal preference. And also, if I come back to the one I was talking about here, depending on which one you use, depends on how often you may use this option, which continues scanning after last page. So for example, if you chose to do it all as one big scan, and here you chose to rename the file after scanning, you could come back here, continue scanning after last page. Now what actually does, and you can play around with it, what you are able to do is if you scan some sheets of paper, sometimes you might get a jam, or you want to keep on scanning but you want to scan them individually. If you click this one and you've chosen the option, oops, sorry, here, let me go back. You've chosen to generate one PDF file per page. If you then tell it to continue scanning after last page, rather than it automatically saving like it does here, I'm overkilling now to make it do it. What it will do is when it outputs the scan, it will give you the option to decide whether you want to continue the scan, and then you can add multiple sheets of paper as one PDF, or you've finished the scan and that's all you want to do. It's a matter of playing around and a bit of not trial and error, it is a preference thing. I'm either doing one or the other. I'm either saving it, renaming the file, and I don't want it to do anything other than allow me to rename it. So I won't do any customization other than click those two things. But if, for example, I'm just doing one big batch for a particular customer or a particular supplier, then I might just pick this one and think I'm going to do all the pages for them, and it's dated from the 1st of Jan, and everything in here is from the 1st of Jan to the 31st of March. And if you want anything for them, it's in there. It depends really what you're trying to achieve. So those are the basic ones. So pick where you want it to go, save whether you want to rename or whether you want it to automatically just drop itself into the folder. Any scanning, do you want it to duplex or single-sided? Do you actually want to be able to search within text or search on any keywords? This is automatic detection, and I would leave this. What the scanner is doing is looking at whatever you put into the scanner feed and deciding what it needs to output, which length. You'll see in here you can also pick specifically. You can say I only want A4, I'm doing all business card size, but as a personal preference, I leave it like that. And what it also will do is check the length for you. You can tell it not to check the length. Sometimes you might have, I find Costco receipts, some of them can be really sort of long, and you put it in there, it's longer than A4, but the automatic detection should take care of that, and the check length should take care of that. There are some instances where you have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery, and I'll show you that in another video. It's not really often that you will come across that. Let the scanner do its thing. If you really do have some customized sizing that you want to do, you can create them here. Put in the width, put in the length, and save it, or add it, I should say. Very rarely, in fact, I've never used it. I always let the detection do its thing. And a compression, the scanner will know it better than you, leave it as it is. So what I then want to do is go to add profile, and I'm going to call this inbox. Why am I typing as if I just learned? Yep. And there it is. So anytime I want to scan in that way to that particular folder, I just select inbox and it will come up with exactly what I want it to do. I hope that helps. So there you have it, how to create a capture all inbox for your scanner. So if you're doing bulk scanning, you can send it all in there and then go in there and organize your files to your heart's content. If this was useful to you, please do like this video. And also, if you haven't subscribed on my YouTube channel or on my site, wherever you're watching this, please subscribe. I would love to be able to keep updating you with tips and tricks and helpful bits of information. And if you've got any comments or any tips that you have to make this easier, let us know. Speak to you later. Bye.